Why not? Let's do it. Let's gear a go. Um, hello. How's everybody doing? How's things? How's life? How's yours? How has your week been? Hello to John, or Even, and hello to Simon. How you guys doing? How's things? Hello Ish. How you doing, man? How's things? How has your week been? That's all sorted. I have already closed Thunderbird, so you don't get an annoying notification. See, I think of these things occasionally. uh, Ivan. Okay, I tried. Yeah. How are you? Um, I have. Well, okay. Oh, status report. Physically, bad. Um, my left hip has been bad. I've been walking with a crutch for the last 5 days, 6 days. Um, which because I'm limping makes my back hurt more. So bad. Mentally, fine, I guess. um, nah, that's still kind of bad. Things are perfectly average this week. Got a new monitor and buyer's remorse. Oops. What monitor did you buy? Hello to Zig. How you doing, man? How's things? Uh, and how's your week been? Average going on slightly worse than usual, perhaps. I don't know. Nah. Um, and John, your point about the gigabytes M34WQ, which I still haven't reviewed. That is definitely one of the cheaper ultra wides on the market. I'm in the small subset of the well, actually, relatively large subset of the population where bright lights make me sneeze. Anyway, the gigabyte monitor, it's kind of hard to say because it is just like if you think of it from a value perspective, like a standard 27-inch 1440p monitor, which is a third of or two-thirds the of a an ultrawide, is maybe 300 200 now, whereas the ultrawide, I mean, to be honest, I'm running an ultrawide and I love it, but I'm in the very fortunate position that I didn't pay for this. So yeah. Also, to your point about upgrading, well, you probably would need to. It's worth sort of thinking about it in stages because you can just upgrade the monitor and run at low settings, or run it 1920 by whatever it is. No, not 1920. 2560 by 1080. So yeah, that is you certainly can do that and then upgrade the GPU later, but yeah. Hello Joe, how you doing, man? How's things? Um, ba 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 ba. Uh, Ishbot, AOC U28G2X 2U XU2. Fair. Is that 4K 144 hertz IPS? I'm gonna rack my brain for the specs. I think it is. In which case, like, fair. Certainly a decent machine. Monitor. What's giving you the buyer's remorse? Can't run all those pixels, but I want it also on Black Friday month, so of course I spent 160 euros on Moto Gear because I needed that fourth pair of gloves, right? Naturally, yeah. uh, um, I get my new car in 10.5 hours. Nice. Uh, enjoy the, what was it, Picanto GT line, was it? Also, Salmon63 got some of AWIT's XRGB 27WQ V2s. Interesting. I have not reviewed the V2s. I wonder what they're like. Like realistically, it's a budget IPS panel. So I could probably tell you the sort of performance profile that they're at. But yeah. Was a really good price and similar reviewed and a similar reviewed favorably by yourself. I should have ponied up a couple hundred for the 32 instead of the 28-inch. Ah, I see. Okay. Yeah. Especially if they are 4K, I see where what you're getting at. Yeah, fair. Um, where am I at? After all these years, I have to say goodbye to you today, leaving Sunday, having a party at work tomorrow. Sister's already moved into my house, and Dad's going to finish building it. Nice. Are you completely off the grid for however long your piloting contract is? And if so, I hope to see you when you get back. Well, see your name in chat at the very least. But yeah, congratulations, man. Hope you enjoy it. Yeah, 4K, 140 hertz. It's got good input. It's just a couple inches smaller than I perhaps really should have. Hashtag just a couple more inches all makes all the difference. Nice. Joe, not too bad, thank you. Been speaking to a lot of companies this week. Been pushing for sponsors for the channel again. So far so good, but it's going to take time. You've been up to anything special? I actually bought a PS5 for MSI. MSI, as part of the whole sponsor video that they want to do with the latency tool, they wanted it to sort of showcase their monitors and the auto low latency mode via HDMI, a LLM that their monitor supports. And so, one of the things that they wanted to do was show it off with a console. I said, if you can give me one, sure, I can use a console, but I don't have any. They said, can you just buy one and we'll pay for it? Like, sure. So I bought one. It'll be here, I think, tomorrow. And I'll have a PS5 for a bit. Actually, this is probably a good idea. Is there any videos that you want to see me do with a PS5? Because I'll have it for a couple weeks at least. I could probably get, sneak it away to do some videos with. Let me know. I do have to send it to them, like when I'm done with the video, they're gonna collect it. Like it's not mine to buy, like to use after this. But there is going to be some period of time between when it arrives and finishing the video and then them collecting it. There's a bit of a window that I can it does have to be in one piece, yes, unfortunately. Oh, hello, Ryzen, on Twitch. Sorry, I missed your comments. How can files disappear from a PC without a trace? I mean, technically quite easily. Programs quite regularly delete stuff that doesn't go to the recycle bin. So if it's a program especially that deletes it, it can often just be hard deleted. As for playing Fortnite, if I need a team, no, I don't think I'm going to be playing on the PS5 very much. Like, I'll be I'll set it up, whatever, and I'll, be playing whatever I need to do for the video and for whatever other videos, but it's not exactly, something that I, would use. I got the monitors in the back of your V1 review video. I didn't go 24-inch and didn't want to spend lots, so went for the X equals. Yeah, fair play. They're likely a pretty decent value. I just haven't checked out the V2, that version. Of course, all those monitors are IPS, bravo. Can't really understand people buying VA. It's a great monitor. Please pay $800 for it, tiny text. Just small problem, you can't really display black in motion. Yeah. Yeah. Hello, Jim. How you doing, man? How's things? Zig landed at Sydney, then road trip to Rockhampton, arriving 10th of December, starting 12th of December, H145, conversion training, sit in Australian flight law and human factors exams, and get certified by local instructor, all before the 5th of January. Bit of a tight schedule then. Is that a manic, Andy? It is indeed. The pilot's exam isn't too bad. Heck, I passed it, so it's got to be easy. I'd like a pilot's license, I just don't have 10 grand. Well, I do, but not for a pilot's license. Could you genuinely do a comparison for OS RTT and OS LTT between the console and PC thing on monitors? I think it would be quite cool to do a video with, like, talking about the latency of the PS5, because it's kind of an interesting like difference, and it would be interesting to see different resolutions and refresh rates. That I think that might be a fun one to do, more than just the ALLM mode that MSI want me to test. What relates to my cloud key purchase? Oh yes, I made a purchase. It is the Unify 6 Plus specifically. It's a wireless access point that looks like a UFO. It takes PoE in down there. Well, Ethernet, but power over Ethernet. And this is going to be my new Wi-Fi setup. It's remarkably heavy, but also remarkably small, So yeah, I'm going to be setting this up. I've got, my friend Dan gave me some, a real EV Ethernet. Although it's a lot thicker than I'm used to using, which makes it difficult to put it in the connectors. Although, if anyone is interested, this style of crimping tool is my favorite. Pop that we pin out. So you put your cabling in there, which also has the pin out, which is great. But you put your cabling in. These are the pass-through connectors. Might be hard to see, but they actually the cables go all the way through and jut out the end here, so you don't have to whatever. And then these go. Your connector goes in. You crimp it. And then it also chops, has a blade on the back side there, and it chops off the excess when you go for them. It's really good. It works really well. Has much better than the they kind of look like this style ones. This is a cable stripper, but yeah, recommended. And it was like a tenner on Amazon. Had it for a while. Um, I wish the Unify Wi-Fi 6 Pro AP had Ethernet out like the AC Pro. Ethernet out, right? I see what you mean. That would be quite cool. Yeah. This is the Unify 6 Plus, U6 Plus. I wanted the long range one, but I don't know if that actually exists or not. There's no Ubiquiti page for it. There's either the U6 Plus or the U6 long range. So I'm hoping this one works, and if not, I can just get another AP. And point it the other way. um, where am I at? I'm looking for an M.2 2.5mm mounts. I can find them on Amazon, but any idea of any shop or website that sells them? Overclockers and Scan don't sell them anymore. Stuff like that is quite specific, and especially since Maplin doesn't exist anymore. I think the short answer is unless you can find a local computer shop that will probably just give you one, really, if they've got some spare in a in a box somewhere. Otherwise, yeah, I think Amazon or eBay is probably your best bet, I'm afraid. What do you feel is more useful? Two small monitors or one large monitor? Ah, for productivity, I prefer two. For gaming, I'd prefer one larger one, I think. Um, Ryzen, have they sorted out the overheating on the PS5? Last time I saw, they had a heat sink about the size of a peanut. So, so yeah, yes and no. The problem with the overheating was, or at least the more recent problem with overheating, is that they use liquid metal as the thermal interface, which is great for thermal efficiency. It's quite bad because it's liquid metal, and especially if you have your PS5 standing up, which is obviously one of the orientations they expect you to have. The liquid metal basically just wicks its way out of between the two, and then you end up with a dry spot. Which then means it gets hot and can overheat and burn out the chip. So yeah. I think that I don't know if it's been resolved, but the recommendation is still to have it sideways. Does it detect when you got fire? It's not a smoke alarm. No. It is a fancy wireless access point that I got basically half price. Just on eBay. Brand new. I currently use Deco, been installed for about 2 years. Fair. I like the in-wall APs because they have PoE out for small Ubiquiti Flex switch or other appliance. Fair. Rip Maplin does the sled one to convert SATA at the same time. I miss what the second part of your question means. I have no idea how to fly fixed wing. I'm much more nervous about spending Christmas with my new boss and his family. What do you gift a guy worth about 25 million Australian dollars? No idea. Joe, genuine question for once. Good. Some of the companies want me to upgrade my motherboard and CPU to suit DDR5 RAM. Any recommendations for bundles that would be decent but won't break the bank? I mean, it depends how picky you want to go, and what they need you to have DDR5 for. But I mean, a 12100, 13100, and B660. Did I get it right? B660 board, I think would be fine and be relatively cheap. I mean, you're still talking about 100 or 150 or whatever for the chip, and another 100, 150 for the board. So it's still like 300 or something pounds, but that is the most cost-effective solution. Otherwise, I would still probably stick with B660 or B760, whichever one's cheaper. But then just switch up the CPU, so like the 12 or 13 400F. Again, you know, that's a decent one. If you got about £500 to play with, that's probably what the combo that I would go with. It's generally the combo I would recommend if you're building a new PC today anyway. So yeah. As long as you're just doing CPU and motherboard, and they're providing the RAM, yes, that's fine. If they're not providing the RAM, then there's a bit more problem, because you're going to spend another 100 or so at least on, you know, 16 or whatever gigs of RAM. So that eats into it a bit. Also, you might need a new cooler bracket. You could also just get an air cooler that comes with the new LGA 1700 mounting. It's actually the same bolt pattern, it's just the depth is different. And so you can't use 1150X mounting hardware on LGA 1700. Well, you can, it just won't work well because it's too tall. Stupid question, but if you had a Gen 5 NVMe and a Gen 4 NVMe slot, would it run to max NVMe Gen 4? So faster than Gen 4 drive. So most Gen 4 drives these days run at essentially the maximum bandwidth available. And also, it's kind of important to mention that the speed of your drive, like the quoted speed, so like the 7 or so gigabytes per second normally reads, or the about 14, 15 gigabytes per second, again, normally reads with Gen 5, that is only the like sequential sort of high queue depth results. It's not what you call it, a real world figure. So the actual performance you get is really often not limited by the bandwidth of the port, but more the controller and the NAND flash behind it, and the DRAM cache if you have one. So yeah, I would say yeah, I doubt it would be any faster than a Gen 4 drive. It'd be about the same. And also, I'm pretty sure almost all of the Gen 5 drives aren't full Gen 5 speed anyway. But so to clarify that point, I've tested quite a few Gen 4 drives, and almost all of them are, when you look at the 4K random, like single queue depth of 1 results, they're almost all the same as a good Gen 3 drive. We basically haven't improved the random performance, and all we've done is increase the overall bandwidth available, so that if you are hitting the entire drive with a load of threads all at once, then it will be faster. But otherwise, yeah, we haven't really changed the real world performance all that much. Isn't 25 million Australian dollars worth about £7.35? I'm sure Simon will have to confirm the exchange around that one. Ever experienced an issue installing Windows 7 and a USB keyboard and mouse that didn't work in Windows Setup on a B450 Prime? I haven't installed Windows 7 in quite a long time, so I certainly haven't done it on a B450 board. It's not unheard of for, I mean, especially Windows 7, the built-in drivers that come in, as part of the installer aren't necessarily going to work with newer hardware. The driver just isn't supported. The thing that you can try though is try different USB ports, because a lot of the rear USB ports, for example, on an AMD board, go straight to the CPU, and so there shouldn't be much initialization problem. Whereas some of the, say, USB 3.2 Gen 2 ports, whatever, might be connected via an as media controller, which you need a driver for, and it probably doesn't have that driver built into the installer anymore. Same with the front ports. Actually, they can also be a third-party controller, like an external controller, rather than direct to the CPU. So yeah. Hello, Essentialist. I didn't say hello. You're only a bit late, so it's fine. They're providing the RAM. Be quiet. Have offered me cooling for the new board, so it's a case of getting new hardware for the sake of the RAM. Yeah, fair. So in that case, yeah, I would say 12 or 13. I guess you could do 14 400 if you really want to, but why? And then a B660, B760 board. Specifically one that supports DDR5, obviously. B760 and B660 do support DDR4 as well, but they'll normally be labeled D4, whereas if they're not labeled D4, it's normally DDR5, but make sure you check it before you buy. Random question, but why does water taste better out of a stainless steel cup instead of a plastic cup? I don't know that it does. I think it's more to do with the temperature. If I were to be waxing poetic about it. Jonathan, I agree with Joe that PC World is totally useless now. I mean, it was a long time ago too. The last thing that I think I bought from a PC World for myself, I technically bought a router like 4 years ago as a, like, I need one today. But the last thing that I bought for myself was my Razer Black Widow 2013 that my parents yelled at me for buying. Oh dear, they yelled at me for a lot of stuff. I still have it upstairs actually. It's on the shelf. As you look at it in the frame, it's the left-hand shelf. There's the Logitech G15, and then there's the Razer Black Widow. It's in the back technically, but it's still there. Still has Cherry MX Blue switches, the original ones. Yeah. Used to spend my Saturday afternoons in PC World. I have spent some time there, but like they had one gaming PC, and it was that it was the Acer, I think, one that was like neon or like glittery orange, with the front panel bits that would were on hinges, that would external hinges that would lift up to reveal a disk drive. One of them, yeah, I remember poking around at that. Time to get ready for the daily grind. Fair. It's almost time for the daily nap for me. Water does taste different out of metal and out of plastic and paper cups. A bit, I guess, yeah. I think it's nicer out of a glass than still a plastic. I'd be inclined to agree with you. Yeah. Um, haven't drank tea out of a glass yet. Time to roll up my jeans, don a beanie, and go to the fancy store. You mean hipster store? I worked at PC World for about 4 months and left because it was an awful place to work. And then I became a debt collector for a shit house for a year. Just a slight change. Not really. No. One of the first when I was about 17 and a half, I passed my driving test. And the very next day I drove 120 miles to Coda to I think what they're now called. They were ESL UK and now they're Technic PR, I think. Anyway, I drove to them because I was doing Samsung SSD marketing. I went to I would go to PC World stores with my banner, with my little stand, and I'd like tell people about SSDs. So this was 2014. I did like 4 events and then gave up. I don't like talking to people. But yeah, that's that money helped me move out actually. So there you go. Didn't Curry's and PC World unite? They did quite a while ago. They have been owned by Dixon's Retail for quite a while. But yeah, they united. I think didn't they buy Comet out as well? But yeah. See, Chris, there's a difference between talking to strangers, but strange tech nerds on the internet via a live stream, and talking to people who really don't care about whatever it is you're talking about in person in a store. Quite different. Yeah, I'm talking among like-minded autists here, uh, uh, rather than the general public. You know, and he's talking at us, not with us. That is also true. Yeah, I'm reading what you're saying, and I'm reading out what you're saying, but it's not quite a direct conversation. I think they also own Argos. Really? I mean, I'm not that surprised in the grand scheme of things, but that's kind of interesting. I didn't know that one. I have the horrific job of introducing 50-year-old teachers to the wonderful world of Chromebooks. Fun. For a long time, Dixon's ran them separate, even in the same business/retail parks, like for years. I know. Actually, here's a fun story. When I bought, so the first computer that I bought myself was a laptop. It was a Toshiba N300 or L300 or something. A satellite letter 300. And I knew the one that I wanted, and so I went to the PC World because I wanted to buy a PC. And I walked in, and they didn't have that one in stock. So I walked out the door. I walked like, I don't know, 30 meters. The next door, walked into Curry's, and bought one. I actually bought the display model, so I got a discount, which helped. So yeah. Dixon's, Curry's, PC World, and Comet were all at my local retail park at one point. That's impressive. I had Curry's, PC World, and Comet, I think, all in one place. And I've never been into a Dixon's that wasn't at Heathrow. Or an airport in the UK. I'm almost 50 and identify with that comment. I mean, Chromebooks are terrible, but One place near me had a Comet and Maplin's, now a carpet shop and another carpet shop. Do you know what? The rise of carpet shops really, really confuses me, because who's buying that much carpet? There's a carpet shop near me, and I watched the lorries arrive with the big rolls of carpet, and then I never see carpet leave. Where's it going? Or more likely, what's wrapped up inside of it? I have a joke that any business I don't understand is a front. I think that's a pretty sensible opinion. The same generation that has now become bored of decking has now become obsessed with carpeting over hard floor. Huh. Number of carpet conversations in my life: 5. Number today: 3. It's impressive. Oh dear. Oh, actually, I haven't opened this box yet. So give me a sec. But it's another invention. Call it that. It's another product of my designs. What you might call a very early test version too. PCBs. Although saying that, I get the case is 3D printed for them too. I got them in green because, like I said, super early test, but this probably won't mean much to you, but it's a different footprint than the latency tool. It's actually ridiculously simple, but basically, that bit there, oh, I can't touch it. U1, the one in the middle, right? That there, houses a color sensor. Actually the same family color sensor as Data Color used in the Spider X. So yeah, I think you can tell what I'm planning on doing with this. Super simple. Also, I designed this so that because all of the surface mount stuff goes on this side here, the side that's facing you, what I can do is solder mask, put all the solder on, and then put this on a heat plate, and then all of the through hole stuff, so the switch and the RGB LED, go on this side of the board. So all of the surface mount stuff's on one side, all of the through hole stuff's on the other, and so I can solder it really easily with all the surface mount stuff, and then just do the through hole stuff later. Yeah. So that is a to-do, probably at the weekend. And then see if I can actually make it work, which is a whole other question. Yeah, why not? Close enough. I live near a Best Buy. When they trialed it over here, it failed so hard. The poor staff really wanted to help, but I still knew better than them. The products on their shelves they tried. Yeah, that's kind of it's the funny thing if I rarely do go into a PC World or into a Currys or whatever looking for some sort of tech product. I know what it is I want. And you know, I know that I don't need the gold-plated HDMI cable. Thank you very much. So yeah, I have had that experience a couple times. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. You can tell me where stuff is, because you know, that's something that you could help with. But yeah, I'm good on the advice front, thanks. On the carpet front, so that's because the generation is getting older, and when they fall down, it doesn't hurt as much. Bit of cushioning, yeah. My daughter's house had carpets that when I lifted were on top of laminate. I removed the laminate, and that was on tiles. I was full on grunting like a displeased gorilla all day. Interesting view, but yeah. So like, I have just helped my friend Anne lay a room's worth of laminate so far upstairs in his new house. Yeah, we pulled up the carpet to reveal the standard floorboards. We put underlay down and we put the laminate down. Yeah, I don't know how you do that with tiles, laminate, and then carpet. Why would you not? Like, at some point, the room's just gonna start getting really, really short. Phil, hello. See if you can make it work. You mean make it work no matter what, right? Well, yes, but you know, if I need hardware revisions or whatnot, we'll see. I have a mate that drags me into Curry's to code a literal website using HTTP. I assume you mean HTML in Notepad on a display laptop. Interesting. Sounds like a very strange interaction. He's done it multiple times. Why? Oh, why do you go? Why do you do it? Oh dear. You know when you've gone too far with the carpeting, when you can't open the doors anymore. Yeah, fair. He's also done his daily try hack me challenges. Interesting. Actually, on the note of hack me, so the PS5 that I bought for the MSI video, they said, oh, it costs this much in game right now. So I was like, okay, I'll just buy it, you know, from games website. That's fine. They're paying me for the value of it. That's all good. And I have lots of tabs open, and I if I want to keep on a page but then do something else, you know, do an action based on that page, I'll use middle mouse click to open it in a new tab, right? And so just instinctively I did that on the buy button. Normally that wouldn't do anything, right? Like normally when you press the buy button, often you don't even leave the page. It just comes up with a little thing that says, we've added this to basket, you know, do you want to go to the basket, whatever. Sometimes it takes you straight to the basket, but that's kind of weird. Normally you just, you know, lets you, you know, keep going. But I completely, you know, you know, piloted, middle clicked on the buy button, and it opened a new tab, and I was like, kind of weird. And it opened a blank page with just a JSON file worth of text. So it turns out that if you do it properly, when you click the button, a modal comes up, a pop-up comes up saying, basically, do you want to add the warranty, you know, for however much, 50 quid a year, 20 quid a year, something like that. Do you want to add that to the basket too? No, obviously, in this case, the answer is no. But the fact is that when you click the buy button, that modal that pops up is actually returned code from the server that sends that back to say that, like, the whole modal is that JSON file. It's HTML code in a JSON format that gets sent back, and it just gets returned if you just middle mouse click. It just like, game. I know you're like, you know, a retailer that has been forced onto the online space, but like, come on. Oh dear. So yeah. My renewal for my car comes in next year after extending the lease on my combo. Dacia rang me today to rather excitedly inform me they have a new SUV coming in. It's called the Bigster. Because they have the Roomster and the Duster, and so the Bigster is the next one. Oh dear. Interesting. Are they gonna, like, you know, give you free cake and presents for a year if you pick them? Feel free end user debugging. Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. Oh dear. What was I? Oh, I need to do some development on Lights still. One of the things that I said to MSI actually for the video was, obviously they want me to be able to use this the latency tool with this PS5, but currently I don't have a way for you to use the microphone as, you know, to like smack a controller to make it, you know, move, or like hit a button to jump or something, and then have that trigger the light sensor. So I need to make that happen. Yeah. In theory, it shouldn't be that difficult. I really need to break out each of the functions. But yeah, I need to do that before I do the video. And then there'll be a new feature. The IT system in game is a tragedy. I was once trying to update my address on my ancient game account, and I was navigated through about 4 different UIs, clearly developed at different times. Oh, I just love when that happens. I mean, I hate it because it's a terrible user experience, but it's fantastic to when you see that happen. Although it's normally only like 2 layers, you know, it's normally like the old one that they have in a kind of like Windows actually. If you try and change a setting in like the settings app, you've got the new one, and then most of the settings still aren't in the new one. So when you click on, like, you know, change this setting, it just brings up the old control panel. So kind of like that. Each of them appears fully functional with their own version of different user management settings, but some controls worked in some places and others were just totally broken. Amazing. That's kind of funny. Chris, why do you need 2 cloud keys? Or is that just a mistake? AliExpress UX is also terrible. Some pages look straight out of 2002, and others have random Vietnamese. Interesting. I know that AliExpress has been has been sending me emails for the title is like, "Hi UK, we saved it," right? Which is a weird thing to say, but what they mean is, "Hi username, we've saved your basket." Now, the wording I can forgive, like, you know, it's AliExpress. I understand that this is not, you know, a Western-made platform. I'm you know, I think I'm pretty decent at accepting imperfect use of English. The problem though is that it's for a basket of stuff that I have already bought and received months ago. And I don't think it's even the case that I bought the stuff and then, like, significantly later, like, left it in the basket and then came back and bought the stuff. It was stuff that I put in the basket, almost immediately went and bought, and they're now saying, "Hey, we saved your basket of the stuff you already bought." There might have been a police chase outside my house. There was quite a few police cars that just went by quite quickly. Wouldn't be the first time either. I'm taking the second one on to the holiday house when I go on Wednesday. Ah, okay, fair. Their English is always better than our Chinese, is the pinch of salt to accompany any hilariously wrong phrasing. Yes, exactly. As much as I would love to know every language, ideally, I can't. I can't do that. I barely know English. Who doesn't want a second, third, or fourth toilet seat or car battery, a gaming chair, etc.? It's actually the USB cables, microphones, and screws that I bought for the latency tools. Yeah. Maybe the emo's front of the Chinese calendar. Oh dear. Open source total translation tool. Oh, I am nowhere near smart enough for that. Or know anywhere near enough languages or people who speak those languages. Yeah. Also, I think that's just AI, and I think Google has the head start on that one. I love having excess car batteries that I can throw into the River Thames to help electrify the eels. Oh, it's so weird. It's always amazing to me when I got my first Windows PC in the mid-90s. I paid £100 to double the hard drive from 10 gig to 20 gig, and a friend of mine said, "You'll never fill it." Yeah, and now, I mean, Windows takes up 20 to 40 gig. A single game, COD is a bad example, but COD, at least the original Modern Warfare was 250 gig. GTA 5 is 100 gig. We're about to get a new GTA, actually. This is another thing we talked about last week. The trailer should be coming start of December, so be interesting. And actually, you know, release from now. Yeah, most games are like between 20 and 100 gig. I assume that's Baldur's Gate 3, 125 gig. Downloaded the new COD, 158 gig. Oof. What about my Arma 3 mods? What, your 300 gigabyte of mods, you psychopath? Has Mr. Andy ordered an OLED Steam Deck? We talked about this last week, actually. And the answer is no. As much as I would like one, obviously, it's nicer, it's fancier, it's better. It is also, I don't use my Steam Deck enough. I don't travel enough to use it, and therefore I don't use it very often. And so I don't make enough money to spend £500 on a device that I'm going to use for a couple videos and then, you know, basically not touch again. So as much as I would love to, you know, and if Valve wanted to send me one, no, I'm not gonna. I think like a Steam Deck 2, there's probably, you know, enough content there, if nothing else, that it would be worth, you know, doing. But Valve have said that's a couple of years away, so Starfield's 116 gigabytes plus up to 100 gigabytes more with mods. Still had no time to play, though the new patch looks promising. Might be able to get Vaseline smeared 50 FPS. I haven't played Starfield like properly. I've benchmarked it a few times, but I've not played it properly for a few weeks at this point, I think. I finished the campaign essentially, and while I became Starborn and went to a new universe. I think I got to the lodge, talked to the other universe people, was like, yo, I'm from another universe. You know, here's the facts. You know, that was kind of it. I once I walked back out and it was like, you know, basically go play the game all over again, but with some magic powers. Yeah, I was like, cool, I've played the game now. Because I can't say that I had that much, like I was just playing on the standard difficulty, but I can't say that I had that much difficulty in, you know, the boss battles or anything. And a lot of the mechanics were, like the gameplay loops were like fine, but could be better. um it's a beta patch too. Don't you think that people's faces look bad even on high-end systems? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, maybe if MSI are better now, they might reassemble the Dragon Squad and all the conventions. No. um, yeah. I need to find my Switch Lite. Got a 2 a.m. coach ride to Heathrow on Wednesday morning, followed by a 3-hour flight. Ouch. Eesh. I love the faces in City Skyline 2 with their individually rendered teeth. I've seen that, yeah. I sent an excellent example of broken English via IM for your amusement. Well, I can't not look at it now, can I? 2 magnets across 4 cards to suck. Excellent. An Amazon listing for some neodymium magnets in like credit card shape. Anyway, that's hilarious. I watched the video today about the ending of Top Gear after Freddy's big crash. Still don't really know what happened, but he looked pretty beat up, so must have been serious. Top Gear ran its course now. Yeah, I haven't watched Top Gear in quite a while. I watched it occasionally, especially once Chris Harris was an actual presenter, not the B team presenter. But yeah, I don't know. It never quite spoke to me. And I think keeping it the same name, like, you know, continuing the series, that sort of thing, yeah, didn't quite do it for me. Didn't become the Grand Tour or some such. Yes, well, technically not the original 3, the original Top Gear presenters. I think are all dead now. But the Clarkson, Hammond, and May went to Amazon to do the Grand Tour, which started off as more of a panel, like basically the same sort of format with a few different gimmicks, to now being almost exclusively just their specials, like them going on a trip and doing something stupid. So yeah. I think Harris could run the show on his own and happily watch that. The guy's a motoring genius. He is. Like I've been watching him since, like, you know, earlier YouTube days, and like, what was it? Did some stuff for Drive for a while, really, and obviously his own channel. And like he was. I'm not regularly kind of emotionally involved in things, if that makes any sense. But you know, you'd watch a Chris Harris video about a car, and you would come away like really emotionally invested in that car, you know, which is a very good sign for a communicator and a presenter. So yeah, there's always Fifth Gear. We did watch that a bit when I was younger, but haven't seen it in quite a while. Although I do like watching Johnny in the Late Break Show. Descriptive, but ha ha ha, I'm immature. Me too. Saw a clip, an early clip of Top Gear on YouTube. The reporter was disgusted at the cost of staggering £5 to feed a family at motorway services. Been on the air for a while. Yeah, it has, hasn't it? The Top Gear we know it was rebranded in, was it like the early, like 2001 or 2 or something like that. It was on the air in the 80s and 90s. Oh, and I didn't realize, but John Bentley of the Gadget Show is one of the main producers, and is the reason why Clarkson got a job as a TV presenter, because he met him at a convention or whatever, like a trade show, liked him, said, "We need a presenter for Top Gear, and do you wanna come do some Top Gear?" And Clarkson, agreed, and that's how it started. And it's weird because I've met John Bentley quite a few times now at the SMMT days. Started in 1977, there you go. The worst thing they did to Top Gear was let Chris puke on every corner. Evans host it. Yeah. Yeah. No worries, Simon. Enjoy the new car. John Bentley has his fingers in a lot of pies and a lot of big companies. Very clever man. Indeed. The new Forza isn't very accurate. The MGB was given a 5-speed manual box when it's a 4-speed that may or may not have overdrive IRL. And the Volvo 850 T5-R has a 4-speed, not a 5-speed. The worst things about later Top Gears are the cars they meaninglessly destroyed. Yeah, I don't like waste, so yes. I would agree with you. John, so before you go, shall I buy that monitor? I need someone to blame when the buyer's remorse kicks in. Oh. So it's a lot of money for, because the what was it, M34WD or something? Where is it? WQ. Is that is the flat one, isn't it? M34WQ. Yes. It's only £400 in the UK. That's insane. Unfortunately, import and whatnot, but yeah. So it's IPS. So if I in the back of my mind, I thought you were talking about a curved VA one. I feel a lot better about that one. So actually, yeah, do it. Here it's €580, the cheapest ever. Yeah, that's, I mean, a lot of money. But yeah, I think so. I think like it's going to be a relatively decent panel. It's 140 Hz, which is great. IPS, FreeSync Premium apparently, which just means it's FreeSync, and therefore G-Sync. So yeah, I would say it's going to be a decent one. And if it is of reasonable value to you, why not? There are worse ways you could spend your money. Yay, most of my monthly wage. Hopefully it will last a decade. I mean, it should do. Most monitors, at least the ones that I've had, have been pretty decent, so yeah. Right. I think call it there. As always, thank you very much for hanging out. Zig, I hope you have a wonderful time. If you can't stay in touch in that meantime, then wish you the best and hope to see you when you're back from your gallivanting adventure. And yeah, everyone else, stay safe. I mean, stay safe too, but also have fun. I'll catch you guys next week for a stream. Yeah, I guess.